My beloved, you felt something stir inside you before this message even began. A quiet pull that you could not fully explain, as if a whisper had been moving gently through the hidden corners of your spirit, urging you to pause, urging you to listen, urging you to remain here for just a little longer than you planned. That stirring was not random. It was not coincidence. It was a moment sealed in the quiet places of heaven long before this day arrived. My child, there are seasons when life feels still on the surface, while unseen movements are unfolding beyond your sight. And you have been standing in one of those seasons. You have sensed that something is shifting, something preparing, something aligning in ways that do not yet make complete sense to your mind. Do not dismiss that feeling. Do not rush past this moment. What you are hearing now carries timing that was carefully prepared for you. My child, there are moments when heaven interrupts the noise of the world because a soul is standing at the edge of a turning point, and this moment carries that kind of weight. You have been asking questions quietly, sometimes in prayer, sometimes only in thought, wondering whether the changes you feel approaching are real, or only the imagination of a tired heart hoping for relief. But the movement you have sensed is not imagined. It is not wishful thinking. There has been preparation taking place beyond what your eyes have been able to recognize. The doors you believed were closed were not truly closed. They were being aligned, adjusted, and prepared so that when the moment arrived, you would step through them with clarity instead of confusion. My beloved, I see the weight you have been carrying, the quiet worries about money, the stress you rarely speak about, the nights when your mind refuses to rest. You have been praying for relief, and heaven has heard you. That is why you were guided to this message today. You are not meant to walk this financial journey in confusion and fear. You are meant to walk it with faith, clarity, and daily direction. To support you, a gentle 30-day faith and financial breakthrough system has been prepared for you. Inside, you will be guided step by step through daily prayers, simple money actions, and peaceful structure for your finances. Nothing overwhelming. Nothing complicated. Just small faithful steps that begin to shift your path forward. If your heart is feeling called, if you are ready to release financial stress, if you are ready to move with both faith and wisdom, you can begin today. The link is waiting for you in the description. Take the step when you feel ready. I am guiding you forward. But remain with this message a little longer, my child, because there is something deeper unfolding that you must understand before you move forward. For many days you have felt an unusual sense that your life may soon change location, change environment, change atmosphere. Sometimes the thought appeared quietly in the background of your mind. Other times it arrived suddenly, almost like a picture forming for a moment before fading again. You wondered why that image appeared. You questioned whether it meant anything. You told yourself not to think too much about it. Yet the feeling returned again and again. That gentle repetition was not meaningless. It was a preparation. My beloved, when I prepare a path for one of my children, I do not only change their surroundings. I begin by shifting their awareness. I allow them to feel a restlessness that cannot be satisfied by their current place. I allow them to sense that the atmosphere around them is no longer where their next chapter will unfold. This does not mean that your present place has failed you. It means the season attached to it is completing its assignment. Just as a seed must eventually leave the soil that first held it. You are approaching the moment when movement becomes part of your destiny. There have been delays, my child, and at times those delays have felt frustrating and confusing. You asked why doors seemed to open slightly only to pause again. You wondered why opportunities appeared close, but did not fully arrive. But what looked like delay was not abandonment. What looked like stillness was not absence. Timing was being protected. Alignments were being secured. People, places, and resources were being positioned so that when movement begins, you will not step into chaos but into order. My beloved, you must understand something that few recognize when they are standing in seasons like yours. Preparation often feels like waiting. Alignment often feels like silence. And protection sometimes feels like delay. Yet every moment has been working together toward a single unfolding moment that is now drawing closer than you realize. That is why you were guided here today. That is why something inside you felt compelled to stop and listen. The picture forming in your heart about moving is not accidental. There is a place that has already been prepared for the next chapter of your life. A place where the atmosphere will feel lighter than what you have grown used to carrying. A place where the pressure that has surrounded your finances and your daily decisions will begin to loosen. A place where new connections will appear naturally, not through struggle, but through alignment. And when you arrive there, my child, you will recognize something almost immediately. You will feel peace before you understand why. But do not rush ahead in your thoughts just yet. Remain present with this moment, because there are pieces of understanding that must settle inside your spirit before you reach that place. Many people try to move before their awareness is ready. And when that happens, they miss the quiet signals that were meant to guide them. I do not want confusion to surround your steps. I want clarity to accompany them. I want you to recognize the signs that confirm the direction you are walking. My beloved, think about the last few weeks of your life. Think about the subtle shifts that have been occurring around you. Certain conversations have changed direction unexpectedly. Certain plans that once felt fixed have suddenly become uncertain. Certain people who once seemed central to your path have quietly drifted into the background. At first, those changes may have felt unsettling. But they were not random. They were gentle adjustments, clearing space for the path that is about to appear more clearly. My child, the picture you sensed was only a glimpse. It was not the full image yet. Just enough light was allowed to reach your awareness, so that you would begin to look upward instead of downward, forward instead of backward. And as you continue to remain connected to this message, something deeper will settle into your spirit. You are not losing stability, you are approaching repositioning. Repositioning is not loss. Repositioning is not disruption. Repositioning is the movement that places a life exactly where its next assignment can flourish. You have been standing in a place that served an important purpose for a long time. It held you while you learned resilience. It shaped your patience. It strengthened your faith during moments when answers did not arrive quickly. But that chapter is not the final destination. My beloved, there is a difference between where you have been planted and where you are meant to flourish. Sometimes the soil that grows your roots is not the same soil that produces your harvest. And when the moment arrives for that transition, heaven begins to whisper in quiet ways so that the heart can prepare before the feet begin to move. You may not yet know the exact timing, but the movement has already begun. Small indicators will continue to appear. A conversation that opens an unexpected possibility. An idea that returns to your thoughts repeatedly. a sudden sense that staying where you are feels heavier than it once did. These are not coincidences. They are signals. Stay attentive, my child. Remain calm and observant. Do not allow fear to interpret what faith has already recognized. The place you are moving toward is not random territory. It carries purpose attached to it. It carries provision that has been quietly arranged. And when the moment arrives for you to see the full picture clearly, you will realize that every delay, every question, and every restless night was guiding you toward that exact alignment. My beloved, this message is not ending here, because there are still layers of understanding unfolding for you. What you have heard so far is only the beginning of the revelation that is arriving. The picture you sensed, the movement you feel, the shift in your surroundings, all of it is connected to something larger than a simple relocation. It is connected to a chapter of your life that will carry a different rhythm, a different atmosphere, and a different level of peace. Remain here with this message, my child. Let these words settle gently into your spirit. Listen again if you must. Return to them when your mind begins to question what your heart already recognizes. Because the movement that has begun in your life will continue unfolding step by step, and as it does, the picture of where you are going will become clearer than you ever expected. And when that clarity arrives, you will understand why this moment found you today. My child, remain still for a moment longer. Because the feeling that has been stirring inside you was never meant to be ignored or pushed aside. There are moments in life when something sacred presses gently against the heart, asking for attention, asking for patience, asking for trust. You have been standing inside one of those moments. Even when the world around you seemed ordinary, even when nothing dramatic appeared to change on the surface, there was movement quietly unfolding beyond what your eyes could measure. I have been guiding your steps in ways that were subtle, so that fear would not rush in and interrupt what was being prepared. What you sensed earlier, that quiet image that appeared for only a moment in your thoughts, was not imagination. It was a glimpse, just a glimpse, of the place that is forming for you. My beloved, I know how often your mind tries to understand everything too quickly. You look at your present situation, and you wonder how change could possibly arrive from where you are standing right now. You count the responsibilities you carry, you consider the financial pressures that surround your daily life, and sometimes the idea of movement feels distant or unrealistic. Yet the plans that unfold for your life are not limited by the circumstances you see today. Many of the greatest transitions in a person's life begin when nothing outwardly seems ready. The preparation happens quietly first. The alignment begins in places you cannot observe. The doors that will eventually open start moving long before they become visible. You may have noticed something unusual over the past season. Certain places that once felt familiar now feel heavier than they used to. The routines that once felt stable now feel like they no longer fully fit the person you are becoming. It is not that you are ungrateful. It is not that you are dissatisfied with everything around you. It is simply that the atmosphere that once held you comfortably is no longer the atmosphere meant for the next chapter of your life. When this happens, it is not punishment, and it is not confusion. It is transition beginning quietly beneath the surface. My child, the picture you sensed was not random scenery passing through your mind. It was a signal meant to awaken your awareness. Sometimes a place appears in the heart before the path toward it becomes visible. The spirit recognizes alignment before the mind has enough information to explain it. That is why the image returned to you more than once. You tried to dismiss it, telling yourself that you were thinking too far ahead. Yet it came back again with a quiet persistence. This is how preparation often begins. A seed of recognition is planted first. Then clarity slowly grows around it. There is a place where your spirit will breathe easier than it has in a long time. It may not be perfect in the way the world defines perfection, but it will carry a sense of rightness that cannot be manufactured. When you arrive there, you will notice something almost immediately. The heaviness that has been pressing on your thoughts will begin to loosen. Conversations will begin to flow differently. Opportunities that once seemed far away will begin appearing within reach. It will feel as if the environment itself is cooperating with your forward movement. My beloved, the reason this place has been prepared is not only for comfort. It carries purpose connected to it. There are assignments waiting for you that cannot fully unfold where you are currently standing. Certain relationships must meet you there. Certain opportunities must cross your path there. Certain resources that will help stabilize your finances and your peace of mind are positioned there. This is why the timing has been so carefully protected. If movement had happened too early, the alignment would not have been complete. You have asked many times why progress seemed slower than you hoped. You wondered why certain plans did not unfold when you expected them to. But delays are often part of protection. They ensure that when the moment finally arrives, you will step into something prepared rather than something incomplete. Imagine walking into a house that is still being built. The foundation might exist, but the walls would not yet protect you, and the roof would not yet shelter you. Timing waits until the structure is ready. My child, something else has been happening during this waiting season that you may not have noticed. Your perspective has been changing. The way you think about stability, about purpose, about the kind of life you truly desire, has been slowly evolving. Experiences that once satisfied you no longer hold the same meaning. Priorities that once felt distant now feel important. This shift inside you was necessary, because the place you are moving toward requires a different awareness than the place you are leaving. You are not only changing location, you are stepping into a new alignment of thought, responsibility, and opportunity. The environment you are moving toward will require faith that is calmer, decisions that are clearer, and courage that is steadier. That is why your inner strength has been growing quietly even during moments when you felt uncertain. My beloved, you may also notice that certain people in your life are responding differently to you recently. Some conversations feel distant, while others feel unexpectedly supportive. Do not be troubled by these shifts. When someone's path begins moving in a new direction, relationships naturally reorganize themselves around that movement. Some people remain close because their presence will continue into the next chapter. Others step back because their role belonged to the previous season. This is not loss. It is alignment. You are being guided toward a place where your daily life will feel more purposeful than it has in a long time. The energy you are spending simply maintaining stability will begin transforming into energy that builds progress. The stress that has been circling around financial uncertainty will begin loosening its grip as new possibilities open before you. But remember this, my child. The movement will not feel like chaos when it begins. It will feel like recognition. When the moment arrives, something inside you will quietly say, "This is the step." Not because every detail is perfectly explained, but because peace will accompany the decision. That peace is one of the clearest signs that alignment has arrived. My beloved, continue paying attention to the subtle signals appearing in your life. The idea that returns to your thoughts repeatedly. The opportunity that appears through an unexpected conversation. The moment when a possibility feels both surprising and strangely familiar at the same time. These are the gentle indicators that the path ahead is revealing itself piece by piece. And when the full picture finally becomes clear, you will remember this moment. You will remember the quiet pull that guided you to pause and listen. You will understand that what seemed like a simple message was actually the beginning of awareness opening inside you. Stay connected to this message whenever your mind begins to doubt what your spirit has already sensed. Return to it when questions arise. Let these words settle in your heart until clarity replaces uncertainty. Because the place prepared for you is not a distant dream. It is part of a path that is already unfolding step by step, even now. And very soon, my child, the picture you sensed only faintly will no longer appear as a passing thought. It will stand before you with unmistakable clarity, and when that moment arrives, you will realize that the movement you felt beginning today was the quiet beginning of a transition that had been prepared for far longer than you ever imagined.